TV, and now you can see them live. Please give a warm Josie welcome to...
Oh God, what are you...
How are you all doing this evening? You know what the great thing is though, it's an intimate dinner with Yudhika Sujanani. So I can literally just speak to all of you because you can go home later and say, I had dinner with Suji. I call her Suji because I'm grateful to be able to actually call her a friend. Not only is she a colleague, not only is she a celebrated chef and author, but she's also my friend. So before we get her out, I'd like to just ask you to please turn your phones onto silent and feel free to tweet away using the hashtag GoodFoodWineShow2015. Are you all going to tweet? Coco, you're a tweeter. There we go. Fadine, you're a tweeter. There we go. Just so that you know, the exits are to your left and right as well as to the back. Now, are you ready for Yudhika? Oh, come on. She's not going to come out. She's carrying me home, so we've got to be hot and spicy to get her out on the stage. So on the count of 3, we're going to say Yudhika, right? So on the count of 3, 3, 2, 1. Yudhika! Woo!
Thank you. Lovely to see all of you here. Michelle, where are you going? You're supposed to be helping me cook.
Oh, am I going to cook with you?
I'm not going to be the only one who's going to go home smelling like a samosa today.
Then I'm going to undress.
Whoop, whoop. Welcome, everyone. I'm Yudhika Sujanani, and I'm from Holy Cow and Carry Me Home. Holy Cow is my cooking school, and Carry Me Home is my range of spices and my recipe book. And we're going to be cooking Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
Is this number 8? You've all seen the latest Fast and Furious. She got my joke, thank you.
Yeah, could you
all right, what do you need me to do?
Those two, yeah. Right, so I'm going to be doing food with spice, and I love curry. I'm going to be starting out with a very simple palau rice. I get lots of questions about how to make a palau, so I'm going to just be doing simple palau rice. And then we're going to be doing one of my favorite dishes, and yours, chicken korma. And this is the super quick version, Fast and Furious, number 9. And then a prawn madras as well. So just teaching you how to use spices. You can pop open those lids.
All right.
And the first ingredient, you can see they obviously know that the Indian is here, Exhibit A. 4 liter sunflower oil. Right. So what I'm going to do now is just pop some sunflower oil into a pot, and I'm preheating the pan. In it goes. And then I've got my little spice box here. And some mustard seeds. Let's just check if this is hot first. Sorry, this is my first one on this theater, so figuring it out how everything works.
Yeah, it's on.
Is it on?
It's on a low.
Is it on low? Let's move that to the center then. Perhaps that would be a bit better. I'm fine, yeah. Stop crowding me. Back it up. Right. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So we've got some mustard seeds going into some sunflower oil. And this is not hot as yet. Should heat up quite quickly. And then I'm going to also pop in some curry leaves. These add a lovely aroma, and cooking for me is all about flavors and aroma. I can't resist adding spice to the dishes I prepare. Okay? Still waiting for those to pop.
All right, so while we're waiting for pop, let's just give a shout out to the lady at there, because she is actually the reason why Yudhika is such an amazing chef. That's Amma. A big round up to Amma, which is actually mom, and I call her Amma. Because she's really my Amma here in Johannesburg.
My Amma is everyone's Amma. It's like crazy. But yeah,
so Yudhika, you taught me something about always adding it to the side.
Yeah, that's the spices, which we're going to do just now when we start the korma as well. And let's go through the korma ingredients. Who's going to be my blitz person? Are you? Right. So while that's heating up, just chatting a bit about the korma ingredients. Korma is North Indian. It's very creamy, and it's made with either cashew nuts or almonds. That's how I know how to make it. Everyone has their own version of doing this, but for me, I love the cashew nut version, prefer it to the almond. We've got some chicken fillet, we've got some brown onion, and this is what the brown onion looks like. It's just sliced onion that's fried in batches. It's quite crispy. You put it in a strainer, let all the excess oil drain off, and then place it on paper towel, and then it becomes like this. And once this is done, you can keep it in a refrigerator for a while. And then I've got some cashew nuts that are soaked in boiling water. And I've also soaked the brown onion in boiling water. And we're going to blitz that, okay? Both of them, right? Just separately though, not together. You can do the onion first. If you're using a liquidizer, you can just do the onion first so you don't need to rinse off, right? And then you can do the cashew paste. Right, and now we're back to our oil here with the mustard seeds.
Is it popping?
It's popping. It's all happening here. Sizzling. I can actually hear the blender.
Yeah.
Right, so cumin seeds going into the pan. And I love cumin seeds, and they're great for digestion. If any of you read up about Ayurveda, Indian medicine, you'll find that cumin seeds aid digestion. So they're used quite a bit in Indian cooking. And some onions going into the pan now. And then salt. We need teaspoons. Yeah, teaspoons. Some salt going in with the onion. This just gets them going a bit, draws out the moisture. I borrowed that from you. Fancy French cooking. This is the great thing about Indian cooking, is that we poach ideas.
Would you say it's a collaboration, really? You're sharing. Inspired.
I'm just taking without permission, quite honestly. And also quite blatantly as well, just letting everyone know. So saute the onions off a bit. How are you doing there? Almost done. You can, it needs to be quite smooth. Okay? You can put it into, no, that's fine. Just a machine jug would be awesome if you could. And we saute those onions. And I'm going to be using basmati rice for this, just about a cup. Any questions? Anyone?
Any questions, please put up your hand. I will happily come to that side. Questions? Who loves curry? That's why we're all here, right?
Only two of you.
I love that our cameraman also loves curry.
High five. Yeah, I love curry. It's like my best food ever. I eat curry for breakfast. As you know, my mum will vouch for me. Thank you
I've been
so
6
much.
a.m. and I got chicken korma. Spicy chicken korma, I might add.
It just gets you going, kickstarts your metabolism. It's awesome.
Oh, wait. Okay, cool. Let me come on that side.
I
We have a
don't
question.
know if I want this question. Can I have the kettle, please, as well? Hey.
Michelle, what are you doing at Yudi's house at 6 a.m. in the morning?
All right, so just to set the record straight, really good question. But Yudhika and I do an awesome show, and I'm going to punt our work on SABC2 called Mela. Are you all familiar with it? Yeah, we go. We've got fans in the audience. Mela. So that's where we know. That's how we know each other, and we've become really good friends. So in answer to your question,
We were working
we are working people.
late. We were working late. Right. So now I'm just popping the basmati rice into the pots.
Okay, so I noticed that you added directly no water first.
No water. Just stir that around in the oil. And then pop in a bay leaf and cinnamon stick. And just stir that around. And next, boiled water. Oh, and I need a cloth. Can we just move that pan across to there? It's quite furious at the moment. So add some water and then lower the heat and move it across. Thank you. I don't have a cloth. Is that a damp one? You can get burnt. Is it okay?
He's a
What
chef in training.
Yes, he is. Right, the lid for this pan's over here. So just cover the pan and leave that to simmer on a low heat, and the rice grains will puff up, steam through, and then we know the rice is tender. Then we know it's done. Now we're going to start with, what should we do? The korma or the...
Korma.
Korma. Okay, great.
Korma.
Let's do the korma.
Korma.
It's not 6 a.m. Could you bring my oil back?
Oil back. Cool.
Because I'm just a good fashion Indian girl. I need lots of oil. Really. You can use avocado oil as well. You can use coconut oil. I'm just using sunflower oil. Now we've already fried the onion for this. And heat up the oil. You don't want it too high. I'm trying to figure out how the stove works. Excuse me. Is that it? Is that how you do it? Oh. Oh dear, did I put that one off? Okay, I'm having a bit of a moment. I'll tell you when to turn it up, yeah? Okay, good. I know what I'm doing now. Right, so for the korma, I like quite a coconutty korma. So we've got a cinnamon stick and bay leaf going into some oil. Michelle, you should know how to do this because you've been to a cooking class.
I've been to a cooking class, and I must confess, though, I sent you a pic. It came out nothing like hers.
I'm so devastated.
It was a different color, so I'm glad we're doing this again because I need to take note.
You obviously, but you might have burned something or done something like really silly. What did you do that was silly?
I've also got a question. In terms of the cashew nut paste that you've made, right? Can you freeze whatever you don't use?
No, I prefer using fresh cashew paste, okay? But that is quite furious. Could we just turn this down? Right, so a cinnamon stick and bay leaf going into the pan. The next ingredient is coconut. I'm using desiccated coconut. And here's where you need to be a little careful because coconut burns quite easily. I'm still getting the hang of these stoves and the gas. So fry the bay leaf and cinnamon until it's fragrant. You know, you don't have to cook according to recipes. You've got to feel it, smell it, look at it, and you'll see the cinnamon sticks starting to sizzle a bit. And now coconut going in on the side of the pan. We've blitzed the brown onion and now it's a smooth paste. Always put that on the side of the pan because the coconut can hit the oil and burn. And it starts to foam up and it turns brown really quickly. I love the aroma of coconut frying off. It's amazing. And I can't understand anyone who says they don't like coconut because I love coconut. You?
I love coconut. I love coconut. We all love coconut.
Do we love coconut?
No, we've got one no person. All right, so guess you won't be tasting the chicken korma.
Guess not. But
She
we might
quickly said she's
convince-
joking.
Are you joking? Who are you? Who's the anti-coconut
The
person?
lovely lady sitting right in the front.
Oh, okay. Is that why they put you in the front? Right, so the coconut starts to turn light golden brown. In goes the brown onion paste.
Whoa, on the big screen.
What?
We're really singling out. She was on the big screen.
Ah. Oh, that's me. Right. So the brown onion paste, we're just cooking off the water and simmering that. And when this is ready, you'll find that it looks like it's separated and split a bit. I'm a very, very messy cook. As you can see, I splutter all over the place, much like my personality. So this is the brown onion paste. When you go out to dinner and you have a korma, it's really very smooth sauce. And sometimes Indian restaurants cheat and they put a lot of fresh cream in it. But the actual way to do it is with a nut paste. Like I said, these are my take on these recipes, and I hope you're going to enjoy them. So cook that off, and now turn up the heat for a bit. And Michelle, pass the red chili powder.
Red chili powder. There we go.
Righto. Okay, that's going to go in next for me. And then ginger and garlic paste. My mom makes this for me. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, so thank you. So on the side of the pan, about 3 teaspoons of ginger and garlic paste. These are equal quantities of ginger and garlic, and I've liquidized, or my mum's kindly liquidized them for me. And so cook off that paste, scrape the pan, and fry that off. It's important to get as much moisture out of the onion and the ginger and garlic, because when the chicken goes in, we don't want this to stew, okay? That's the problem with chicken fillet. If there's too much moisture, it actually does stew. So do we have a mild, medium? Well, korma can't really be a hot dish. So it's a mild dish, but generally, how do you guys like your food? Mild, medium, or hot? Mild.
Mild. Come on, okay, all the mild.
Come on, let's get excited.
All right, so it looks like we're mild this evening.
Mild.
But we are hotly excited tonight, right? We like our
Are we
food mild,
excited?
but we are hotly
You
excited.
like it mild but spicy, right?
Mild, spicy.
Because that's different. Mild and spicy is actually different. Right, so stirring still, stir, stir, stir. And now adding
Are you a stirrer, Yudhika?
Hugely. Hugely. I'm a huge stirrer and I love it. It's why I cook, so I can stir.
So how many teaspoons of the red chili?
Well, I would say I would do 3,
Okay.
but I'm going to do 2 for the milder crowd. This is a super, super mild dish. And so that goes into the side of the pan again. And a quick stir. And now some chicken fillets. Okay, I'm going to add half this fillet in here. Okay. Who's hungry? Now's the time to speak. Right, half that chicken fillet should be fine. And you can see this is not stressful cooking. It's really simple. It's not because I'm doing it. Just enjoy the cooking process. Now scrape the pan, chicken fillet, slice it across the grain. And when I cook chicken fillet, I always add water once or liquid after the tomatoes are cooked. And in this case, we're going to add coconut milk just to make up a sauce, but not to actually cook the meat, okay? So that's where most chicken curries go wrong. Is there any paper towel here? I just want to clean up a bit. I'm feeling a bit shy because all of you are watching me and I'm making a terrible mess. How awful is that?
That's okay. That's the way we cook at home, right? It's usually pretty messy, right?
Who's a messy cook? I don't think you're a messy cook, Coco. I don't think so. So, right, let's stir this around. And we want to seal the chicken before we add some roasted spices. So we're going to add some garam masala and coriander. Now, I have a bit of a strange way of cooking. I put garam masala into my food while I'm cooking, and then I use something called magic masala over at the end. Okay, you can see I haven't added cardamom pods and all of that in. The other thing about a korma is that it sometimes can be a bit sweet. I prefer not adding sugar to the korma, but you can if you like. If you prefer it sweeter, you can. I think the Muslim korma is a bit sweet. Cape Malay? The Cape Malay style
So
cooking.
Cape Malay would probably be sweeter.
Is this as high as it can go now? Is that it? Because do we go up a bit? Okay, great. So we're stirring that around. Now let's season with some coriander and garam masala. And I've roasted these spices so I don't need to fry them off in the oil. And a teaspoon going in. Korma is very, very lightly spiced. It's not as spicy as our prawn madras is going to be. And again, just coat that in the spicy paste. You can see this is really smooth.
And Yudhika, what smell is coming through? The aroma. What are you getting a whiff of?
Brown onion. I love brown onions. They add just, makes you feel like you're home. You know, when you come home and you look for something comforting, it's always the smell of, or the aroma of brown onion. It's really amazing. So quite enjoy that. Now the cashew paste. The chicken's coated in the spice with the brown onion, and now the cashew paste going in. Like I said, you can use flaked almonds if you like. I prefer using the cashew nuts. And now I'm going to reduce the heat again. And I've popped the cashew nuts in, and these are cashew nuts that haven't been roasted. And stir that around in here. And the cashew nuts roast in the pan, releasing this lovely nutty. There's something special about a roasted cashew nut when they're done nicely. And that's what I'm doing here. Scrape the pan, release the spices that are stuck. And just fry that off for a bit. Right, are you all of you with me?
Are we taking notes? I know you're going to try it in the back row, Jane, with the brown jacket.
Right. And my coconut milk is here.
1, 2.
1, thank you. Now just add a bit of coconut milk. You can also add fresh cream to this. I prefer using coconut milk. Like I said, I'm a huge coconut fan. And the salt is... Let's do that.
I imagine with the fresh cream, it just makes it so much more richer.
Yeah, it does, but I prefer the nuttiness. I don't know if I normally use coarse salt, but let's hope for the best with the fine. I prefer the coconut flavor, and always use a really good quality coconut milk. Otherwise, and don't use the light one because it will turn your korma into a soup. Right, and there we have it. Coconut milk now going in. And lastly, the magic masala, which is my spice.
Okay, but you have to share the whole magic masala. I was so impressed with this because often, I'll let you tell it because it's brilliant,
No,
right?
you
The whole
tell it.
speed bump thing. So often when you eat in biryani or anything and you bite into a cardamom or what is the other one? The little brown stick?
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon, no, not cinnamon, the other little with 2 dots on the end and the long tail. Cloves, there we go.
Cloves.
So there's nothing worse
2
than,
dots on the tail.
you know, non-chef.
Sounds like an alien to me.
And you know, you bite and you taste in the food and then suddenly you bite into the clove and there's that horrible taste. It's a speed bump. That's why this is so great because it's actually the magic masala that you can actually sprinkle on after, correct?
Yes, just right at the end. And now you can add some sugar to this. I prefer not to, but you can if you like. Okay, Michelle, that is what your korma is supposed to look like. I don't know how...
Mine looked nothing like this.
What did it look like, by the way?
It was somewhat orange. I don't know, but it's going to be like that
But
the
that's
next time.
butter chicken. Butter chicken's orange. A chicken tikka masala.
I don't know what I did,
And
but
he grew up in a shop, in a food shop, and he made orange korma. How
I
did that
tell you-
happen? All Indian kids, I say, just grew up.
it's
they
part
grew
of the
up in a
Indian
shop.
DNA.
Growing up in a shop, yes. We all grew up in a shop. I would like a little more water in that. There we go.
So, you know, I'll tell you what's the hardest part. It's a little bit of a trade secret. So if you're a non-foodie person, right? For Yudhika, she makes it look so easy on TV. She can tell you, oh, I'm loving the smell of the coriander coming through. And what else? Like you get the whiff of the mint coming through. And then when I do these food things, I suddenly go, the onions smell really good. That's the hardest thing when you're not a chef and you don't know how to describe the food for the audience watching at home.
So
But
you should hang around with me more often.
you do it brilliantly.
But I've done this for a long, long time. Like really long. My mom was she's nice now, but she used to be quite wicked in her day. Got a few hidings.
She's
Hey, Mom,
lovely.
do you want to tell them how you waxed me? My mom whacked me in summer with a hairbrush. And it's Durban, it's really, really hot. And I was in those days, it was called Class 1. So she sends me off to school in a jersey because she didn't want the teacher to see the little bristle marks on my arm. So here I was in Durban summer, January or February, where it's sweltering hot in my jersey. Thanks, Mom.
Protecting yourself.
I love you still, but really.
But the fact you also just gave away your age, class 1. Hello, did you all hear that?
Look, class 1's cool. I don't mind it. I'm very comfortable with my age, Michelle. Right, so those were the days. And Indian moms have a way of turning anything into a weapon. Anything. Wooden spoon, bedroom slipper, hairbrush. Anything. And also, they can't run fast enough. But wherever they're sitting, they can take anything. And if you're running around, they can just throw it at you, and they almost never miss. So those little quiet old ladies, don't trust them because they've got a few talents. So here we go, mustard seeds again. You can see we're using similar spices, creating different flavors, okay? So again, we're waiting for them to pop.
We're waiting for the, snap, crackle, pop.
Pop, yeah, like Cocoa Pops. Right, so let's have a look at this rice. There we go, that's coming along. And I love curry leaves, they're so amazing. So even if you have them and they're fresh, you can always pop them into the freezer and just keep them for a while. And use them right at the end in a curry because they don't lose their aroma. So I pop them in with the tomatoes, some in the beginning when I'm frying the onion, and then some at the end. And the reason I add them in the beginning is when you have difficult eaters, like say for example children, and you want to make them feel hungry, you need to get those aromas going. So in the beginning and a little at the end. But that's just me. I still pick them out of my curry, yeah. Right, so this is starting to splatter, and then some cumin seeds again, and onion. So these start to splatter around. Oh, this is for a small person.
Use that one.
I'll use this one, yeah. That's the other thing. I kind of mix my wooden spoons and stuff around. Onion going in. And let's sprinkle some salt. I've got to get used to fine salt. And this is a quick and easy curry. It's a prawn curry. It should take about 8 to 10 minutes to cook. I love simple food, especially at the end of a day. I just think having a home-cooked meal just rounds the day up. It finishes it off, and you feel so relaxed. And when I eat McDonald's or something, then I want more and more junk. So, and I get hungry a lot.
And it's the most therapeutic thing to do as well. End of the day, just come home, cook something. You know what you can often taste when somebody's in a bad mood? Because you can taste it in the food, right, Coco?
I know, with my mom, I know exactly what you mean all the time.
Your poor mom is getting such a bad rap. She's a lovely lady.
Oh, Mom, love you, but really, I just always tease her. I love teasing my mom. So I learned to cook from my mom, okay, but I used to get into lots of trouble for wasting all her ingredients. And Indian food is all about flavor and the combinations of spices. And remember, you can actually take these recipes, play around with them, add a bit more chili, add less, don't add coconut. You can add a touch of cream. So play around with that. And this right now, what I'm doing is the most important step about when you make a curry, is to make sure the onions are light golden brown. I've added salt, which speeds up the browning, draws out the moisture. And the reason I say that is the first thing is sunflower oil. Extra virgin olive oil can sometimes leave you with a bitter flavor if it's too hot. And then in goes the seeds and then the onion. So once the onion's light golden brown, it dissolves into the sauce so you don't get those chunky sweet bits in your sauce. Right, any questions?
Any questions? Ah, we got it. Come on.
Right.
Let's ask you, what question do you have for Yudhika?
Hi.
Hi.
I absolutely love your show. I love your work. I wanted to ask, when it comes to playing around with spices, how do you know what combinations will work, especially with things like curry?
Okay, so for example, with Vincent, right. So with the chili, that's according to taste, okay? So lamb, for example, will hold a lot more chili than chicken or fish would, right? So sometimes when you cook a lamb curry, it feels like you're adding a lot of red chili powder, but it actually doesn't come through when the dish is when you finish cooking it. Okay, with cumin and coriander and garam masala, cumin, I always use 1 teaspoon sort of cumin, and I'll double up on the coriander. And with fish, I'll do half and half. So if it's 1 teaspoon of cumin, I'll do 1 teaspoon of coriander. And always roasted spices. The thing is to just read up a little on it and see, and you'll kind of get your head around it. The way I write my recipe books and is to actually get you into the zone of cooking. So it's almost like you're going on autopilot. So I add everything in the same order and I change the quantities according to the recipe. But I think we should give Vincent a recipe book.
Vincent, come on up. Woo! And Yudhika would be happily sign that for you after the show.
Yeah, Vincent, it's still in the plastic. We just made sure nobody read your book before you. Right, so everyone, we're going to go to Vincent's house next weekend, and we're going to
For
have
chicken
korma.
korma.
Yeah, we're going to have the korma.
We'd come after get it.
Right, the korma's on page 67. Right, do your homework. So still frying. Once the onions are fried, this goes quite quickly, right? Rice is coming along, very exciting. So have you guys been enjoying the show?
Yes.
Yay! Not my show. I meant the good food and wine show. I'm not so vain.
But this is the best way of ending the day, right?
You're going to get home-cooked curry, which is fantastic. You're very quiet. We need to make a noise. Get excited.
Maybe we should, while we're waiting on the, are we waiting on the
He
onions,
sounds
Yudhika?
like an Indian man.
Are we waiting on the India? Oh, are we waiting on the Indian?
Are we waiting on the Indian man?
Are we waiting
Did
on
you just say that?
on the onions to brown?
Yeah, we're waiting on the onions to
All right,
brown
so
a
cool.
bit.
Who knows a spice called swang? Spice up your life. Am I the only spice called swang? Spice up your life.
Okay, try something else.
Yeah, come on. What song? Come, you know. He's just hungry. I'm hungry. You could probably just say, I want food.
You
Three
see what-
times.
I want food. I want food. I want food.
There we go.
Oh, you know, as brown people, we don't mince our words. We're hungry. I always say this to my mom. But when my kids are hungry, they don't tell me, they go tell my mom. That's it. They say to my mom they're hungry. She says, again? You guys are hungry again. Right, so the onions are coming along here. And now again, don't look. Close your eyes.
You got a question?
You do have a question, yeah.
Wait, let me come up.
Why you use the only thing in different pots? You cross-laminate the things, all of these things. Why?
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 Why what?
We're supposed to use different things in these different pots, not the same thing.
It's creating different, you mean the spices and the ingredients?
Yeah.
It's creating different flavors, and when you taste the stuff, you'll see how different they are. But you've got, I know you're hungry, but you have to be patient.
No. You know what?
Yeah.
This lady doesn't love the coconuts, but you almost cross-contamination.
Yes, it's like I said, it's actually using different flavors to the same spices to create different flavors. And we're going to teach her to like it. That's what we're going to do. Right, curry leaves going in again. This is to make sure that all of you are hungry. And stir that in. Now, oh, where did my red chili powder go? Did I lose my chili powder? Ah, here it is. Michelle, have you been hiding my chili powder? Right, we're going to do this one mild. 2 teaspoons going in. And stir that. Now tomatoes. See, this one has tomatoes and that one doesn't.
I don't think you're getting any food tonight. Sizzle.
Sizzle, absolutely.
Oh, here's your coleslaw.
Ah, yeah, I didn't see it there. But now that's a bit late. So I'm using tin tomatoes in winter, and in summer I prefer using fresh tomatoes. And always keep your tomatoes for a pasta sauce or a curry out of the refrigerator. They have more flavor and they soften quite easily. So mix that around a bit. Did I actually bend this wooden spoon? Because it looks like, seriously,
That's the strength within Yudhika.
the strength.
Powerful woman.
Mind power, yes, absolutely.
So ideally, that's sort of becoming a dry.
A dry sauce for now, yeah. And I'm hoping that someone can find my prawns, please. Right. They're in a little Tupperware container, blue with a green
Oh,
lids.
here we go.
Oh. Am I going blind? Crazy. Right. 1 teaspoon of cumin, right? And then the coriander. Oh, I've left everything all over the show here. Right. Coriander going in. 1 teaspoon. And then some turmeric. Just a touch. We tend to add too much turmeric in the food that we cook. And now I always add these spices on top of the tomato because, like I said, they've been roasted already. And we break this down. So sometimes tomatoes can be quite sour, and by cooking them down, we're just getting them to roast in the pan almost. So again, break down with a great word to describe this is to smush. Just use the back of a wooden spoon and smush.
Smush.
I think Fadine would be a great smusher.
You think?
Absolutely. He just looks like the type.
Smush.
Look, I'm shy, but I'm smushing.
Oh, do we have a question? All right, awesome. Let's. we're gonna put it on you now because she's not ready to answer a question.
Nobody is asking
Mash.
To smash and mash
Smash,
and
mash.
yeah, and use
It's actually quite therapeutic, I guess, huh?
yeah, you just break down the lumps in those tomatoes and roast them in the pan. And these curry leaves just kind of like pop. Amazing aromas. And again, just break that down. I don't like a very lumpy sauce.
You
I
don't
prefer-
like it. You
no.
prefer
I'm a
smoosh.
bit spoiled, you know. I could prefer smoother sauce. So cook that down, and a way of knowing that the tomatoes and onions are cooked is that the oil seems to separate in the pan. And now let's add. How are we doing time-wise? Yeah, how are we doing? I'm good. I'm on the last laps here. Right, prawns. And stir the prawns around. Now, prawns take about 60 seconds to 90 seconds to cook. So just stir them around quite gently. And I'm using real prawns. When I say real prawns, we buy them with the heads on, the shells on. It's quite convenient to buy the prawn meat where they look tightly coiled up and they're coated in ice. But those are already part cooked, so they're quite hard. And they're a bit expensive as well. They don't give you the best flavor. Fadine, what would you like to try? Great.
He's just stuck on that 6 a.m. We
Look.
start filming really early in the morning, Yudhika. How's that rice coming on?
The rice is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's puffed up.
Are you smelling that onions? No, I'm smelling the leaves and the beautiful.
Oh, great.
And look at the color. Mr. Cameraman, do you want to zoom in on that? Look how beautiful that looks.
Yeah, I tend not to make that yellow rice. I always say it went out in the 70s. Out of fashion, yeah.
Yellow rice has a time and place, no?
Yeah, it does, but it was in the 70s.
Awesome.
Before you were born. Right, a little bit of coconut milk.
How do you know if the prawns are cooked? Great
Look,
question.
Good question. So what you need to do is to just make sure that the prawn meat changes color and the tails start to curl, which is round about now. They have been doing that for a bit. And don't wait for the prawns to tightly coil up because there's still the heat in the pan and in the sauce, and it's going to carry on cooking. So you probably, if you wait for it to tightly coil up, then you're going to overcook them. Right. Yes. Let's plate. Let's get some bowls in.
Should we call up our man Vincent? He can be our taste tester.
Yes,
Vincent, come on, Vincent, come
yes,
on up.
the brave man, Vincent. Right, so those prawns are now coated in the sauce. And look, you can always make this a more runny sauce. You can add a full tin of coconut milk. You can add a touch of cream or boiled water to the tomato just to give you a bit of a sauce.
And Vincent brought a friend.
Vincent
What's your name?
brought a friend.
Simpiwe. All right, awesome. Simpiwe and Vincent.
The reason why I brought up my hungry friend is because he's very hungry, first of all, and so he needs to taste this. And second of all, I'm vegetarian.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, awesome. Okay, cool, Vincent. That's a great swap around. So we're doing a bit of a switcheroo. All right, Simpiwe, you come over.
Right, great.
What did she say?
Right.
Translate.
What does that mean?
Jesus Abantwana, I'm the hottest guy. I like them girls.
She's talking about you or me? Hottest guy.
Let me do that. Right, so let's spoon up this rice. Switch off the heat here. So that's it. We're done. The rice is tender. It's steamed through. And cooking is that easy, guys. I haven't been blitzing and blending and all of that. I just do simple home food, and I love to cook. So there we have it. A bit of coriander going on top of this as well. I love fresh
Yeah,
coriander.
perfect.
You don't
So the
have
minute
to if
she's
you don't
done
want to.
plating, you can bring over and dish into
Right, so that's our rice. And then our korma.
Is your mouth watering yet? Juicy. There we go. Juicy, juicy, juicy.
Okay.
Do we have a small plate for some peewee? We'll dish a little bit in each one.
So we have our chief taster here. the hottest man apparently here. Okay, so that's the korma. And what can I garnish with? You can also garnish this with some gold leaf, some spring onion going on top. Let's clean this up. Here we go. And then a touch of magic masala. Now this is already slow roasted. It needs just a touch of heat to release that aroma. And lastly, our prawn curry. And you can cook up the sauce and just put the prawns in just before serving so that they don't overcook. Prawn meat's quite delicate. And there we have it. A little bit of a prawn on the side.
Simpiwe, are you ready?
And you know what? It's the craziest thing, but we always have someone wearing a light color when they're tasting curry. And I've just looked at you now and I thought, like, here's your awesome jacket. So just don't drop curry on it, because I don't buy anything white anymore because I always get curry on it.
All right, so the moment we've been waiting for, Simpiwe.
The chicken fillet is soft, sweet. I can taste the prawns because the prawns, I can't like the prawns.
But why don't you tell us? Let's get this man
But
another sample.
I can taste it, but I can't like it.
You can't like, okay, he's not allowed to like prawns. He just can't
Awesome, but he's a
like
great
it.
food critic because, you know, he spoke about the softness of the chicken.
Yes, the
So that's
chicken's
awesome.
very tender.
It's nice. It's not even rubber. It's soft. And number one, momento prianto.
Momento Prianto.
Thank you very much,
Woo!
guys.
There we go. Big round of applause for
Thank-
Yudhika Sujanani.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out.
Awesome. Please, we're going to put some little samples out. Help yourselves, lady, lovely V and Matt. We'll do that. Thank you so much for coming out. Of course, the show is made possible because of our awesome sponsors, which is Salstone, Chefworks, Kenwood, Handygas, as well as Taurus, Aquavita, our awesome chefs in training from the
Yes,
International Hotel School.
absolutely.
Big round of applause to them, as well as Goodfellas and Kai Knives. Thank you so much, guys. Are we going to see you tomorrow?
Yay! Thank you so much, everyone. It's been awesome. Please do enjoy some samples, yeah?
Cool. Ladies and gents, as you get your food samples, if I could please ask you to exit on my left, which is your right. As the show is officially closed, we're the last people in the dome. Woo!